all of you all who are on the call, again, I just appreciate you. Today, I'm not going to keep you long. I have some great stuff to share, but I warned you ahead of time, it's pretty challenging. If it impacts you in any way like it impacted me, then it's going to cause you to do some different things in your life. It's going to cause you to reevaluate some things. And so I'm always looking to great leaders, great thinkers, great mentors, different people inside of the business world, inside of the spiritual world, inside of the motivational world to challenge myself, to help myself grow, and also to get new ideals. And so I don't mind basically hearing what somebody else has to say about something and chewing on it, learning it, and owning it and making it my own. I have no problem listening to Jim Rohn and conveying some of the ideals that Jim Rohn would bring to the table, but breaking it down in my own words, because different people need to hear things different ways. And so I have no problem with that. But I'll tell you, there was the other day I was listening to a short little video, and it was really, really short. It was probably taken via Snapchat or something like that by a gentleman by the name of Gary Vee. And if you don't know who Gary Vee is, you should be following him on social media. He's a little bit harsh. I'll warn you on that. He might say a cuss word as a part of him conveying an ideal that he wants to convey. He definitely operates in his own rules, in his own way. He's not the traditional nice Tony Robbins type of motivator or Jim Rohn type of motivator, Les Brown. He's a little bit more New York, if I had to give him, a title. And so somebody was getting his autograph, and they asked him the question, give me 3 words of motivation, just 3 words. Just give me 3 words to help motivate me. And he said, 3 words? And they said, yeah. And he said, you're going to die. And the woman who had asked him this, she gasped, literally. And then she thanked him. And those words, as it connected to 3 words to motivate you, it blew my mind because instantly it connected with me. I got what he was saying. And so I didn't hear a long lesson. He didn't explain it. He didn't break it down. But I'll tell you, that was the inspiration for what it is that I have to share today. So if you want to write down a topic, for those of you who take notes, that's going to be your topic for today. You're going to die. And if nothing in this life motivates you or moves you, I hope that statement does exactly that. See, if you knew today that you had 2 weeks to live, you would probably do some different things than you're about to do over the next 2 weeks. And it wouldn't probably be focused necessarily on business. It would be focused on accomplishing things with family, letting people know you love them. If you knew you had 6 months to live, it would be maybe a little bit different. You might go after accomplishing some dreams and things that you wanted to do, like adventuresome type of things. You would certainly spend time with family, with loved ones. You would make sure that they knew you loved them. You would go after doing some of the things that you want to do now, but you haven't done. Maybe you'll go skydiving. Maybe you'll go see Hawaii. Maybe you'll go to that beach that you always wanted to go to. Maybe you'll go to the Grand Canyon to ski some of the breathtaking things that God has brought inside of this world. But if you had 6 months to live, you would certainly do something different than you would right now. But what if I told you you had 3 years to live? What if you knew you had 3 years to live? You were going to die in 3 years. You would do some things very, very differently. But I want to tell you And I want you to get this point. You're going to die. What are you waiting for? The doctor don't need to give you the diagnosis. The Holy Spirit don't need to come down and tag you and say you're it. You are going to leave this place. I love how Jim Rohn said it. He said, it's all risky. I'll tell you how risky life is. You're not going to make it out alive. And that's the one thing that's true for your life, for my life. Every one of you on this call, everybody who is born is going to die. And I want you to think about it in a very different way. This isn't morbid. This isn't something that should depress you. This is something that should move you. In this life, you are going to live anyway. What are you waiting for to decide to live the dreams, the goals, and the aspirations that you have inside of your heart, your spirit, the things that you want to do, the things that you know you should do? What are you waiting for? You're going to live this life anyway. And so, again, this topic is not for the lighthearted. Maybe you wanted something happy today. Maybe you thought I was going to come with the Christmas spirit and give you 6 points that connected with Santa's reindeers. Not today. You're going to die. And if that doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will. So the first thing I want to talk about is make sure it's worth it. Make sure it's worth it. See, you are living life, and if you want to live the life to the max, if you want motivation, if you want to get the things that you want to get, I want to give you some things that can help you. And the first thing is make sure that it's worth it. See, every single day you wake up and you live your time. Inside of a day, we have 24 hours. Inside of your life, you stay awake for probably 16 of it or more, some of you. You have only so many minutes, seconds inside of a day. What are you doing with that time? Is the pain of this life that you are going to experience and are the joys that you're going to get, is it worth the time that you're spending on it? See, some of us are afraid to take certain risks because of the pain that we think might happen because of those risks. You don't necessarily want to change jobs because you're a little afraid. You don't want to move to that new city because of fear. But in the city you're living in and the job you're living in, you're experiencing disappointment and pain anyway. You're getting some celebrations and some victories anyway. Is the risk versus reward. See, you have the same risk on a daily basis. Every single day, you wake up with an opportunity to do anything that you want to do. You choose your path. You choose to go to that job. You choose to be connected to those negative people. You choose whatever it is that you want to do. Is it worth it? It's so important. I need you to get this point because you can set any goal in front of you that you want to, and some of you have a goal just to make ends meet. Some of you have a goal just to cover your basic budget in your basic life. You got to go bigger. You got to think much, much larger than where you're at. You can leave where you're at and go be on a beach tomorrow in another country. But you don't think it's possible, so you don't believe it's possible. But it is. You can do anything you want to do. This is how I know that you limit yourself. Let something happen that causes you to have to make a move. Have you ever been in a situation where your life was going along and maybe you didn't think you had the extra money to do something for your business, something for your life, something towards your dreams? You didn't have the money to take that vacation, to do that extra thing with training or class. But let the water heater go out. Let Let your car break down. And all of a sudden, you get powerful. All of a sudden, you find the money that's necessary to handle the emergency. You had that power before, but in your mind, you didn't have an emergency. I'm telling you, you have to spend your 24 hours in this life, on this earth, anyways. And if the 24 hours is going to turn into 7 days, then 7 days is going to turn into a month. That month is going to turn into a year. That year is going to turn into 5, 10, 20 years. And you're going to look back and recognize how much time you wasted doing stuff that other people wanted you to do, expected you to do, or you limited yourself to. You have to make sure that it's worth it. See, living this life, it has its risks. It has its challenges. The one thing you can be sure of is that you're going to have highs and lows. That's for everybody. If you ain't in a storm right now in your life, it means you just came out of one or you're headed into one. I don't care who you are. We all get dealt with life. Different people handle those storms differently. There's people in your life. You might be in a room full of people right now at work just listening and look around the room, and I'm telling you, there's people in that room that are going through hell, and you would never know it, but that's just a fact of life. So you better make sure that while you're living this life, that what you're going after, what you're working towards, is worth the struggles, the pain, the things that you have to go through to get there. Because the celebrations come on different levels also. You can celebrate that paycheck and thank God for your job. I'm not criticizing your job. I'm thankful for it. But some of you are using it as life support instead of using it as a way to finance your future. Change your mindset and make sure what you're doing on a daily basis is worth it. The next thing, make sure you're up for it. Make sure you're up for it. See, you have to be ready. And this is something that is the most important thing for you to change your life. You'll hear it said by many people in the business world, in the industry of network marketing, in different artists. It's a common theme. It's about you and about how you change you. If most of you had $100,000 cash to do whatever you want, you would lose the money because you're not ready to handle it. See, before you ever need the money to accomplish that goal, that dream, to open that restaurant, to open that store, to do that ideal you have, before you need the money, you need to be ready. You are in the boot camp of life. And every single day, you have to make sure that you're up for it. You have to be growing, developing, changing. And that changes as you change. It's not a place where you ever arrive at. One thing I have figured out over time is that each new challenge in life, each new level, brings areas that are highlighted that you need to grow inside of. When I was 18, I thought I knew everything. When I was 25, I thought I really got it. When I was 30, I felt one different way. I figured out that of everything that I know, that I still need to keep challenging myself. I still need to keep learning. And the better I get, the better life will get. You have to make sure that you're up for it. What does that mean? There's free resources everywhere. I'm not telling you to go back to school, but maybe you need to go back to school. Maybe you need to take that one class, that one training. Maybe it's an online thing. Maybe it's simply going to YouTube University. Opening up those free videos, free resources, and challenging yourself to grow. Is there a new skill you need to learn? Or maybe It's just you need to heal the wounds from your past. See, we all came with baggage. We were born into this life from people who learned from other people. They didn't know. They was just trying to figure it out. When you were a kid, you thought your parents were it. You thought they knew everything. But I promise you, they were just like you. Nobody told them how to handle money. Nobody dropped the magic informational packet off to them of how to be a parent, of how to live in this world. They figured out what they could along the way. And if you don't grow beyond what they taught you, if you don't grow beyond what your environment brought you, you're going to pass along generational curses just the same way that they did. You have to make sure that you are up for it. Your goals, your dreams, they're waiting for you to show up. See, get this point. Get this more than anything. Nobody is stopping you from getting everything that you ever desired but yourself. Not only are they not stopping you, the world wants you to get it. Because the more you get, the more you're able to bless people. You're able to change people's lives, not only in your present moment, in your surroundings, in your family, but you're able to change future generations. They may not say it, but the world is rooting for you to come up. But everybody is waiting for you to shine. Don't take those gifts to the grave. You have to be up for it. You have to be ready to accomplish those things. See, you're going to die. And for you to get what it is that you need to get before you leave this place, you have to learn some things. You have to develop yourself. You have to get some new skills. You have to become self-aware. See, don't be the type of person that can't handle constructive criticism. Don't be the type of person that can't look in the mirror and see that you're responsible for holding yourself back for the past 10 years. Open your eyes, open your mind, and recognize that it is up to you to change your life. If you're in a business, if you work for somebody else, it's not your boss holding you back. It's not the owner holding you back. If you own your own business, it's not your employees holding you back. If you are in the direct sales industry, network marketing industry, your upline is not holding you back. It's up to you. It's not magic. You have to put in work. And that most of that work involves you changing and challenging yourself. You have to be up for it. The next thing, it's all risky. It's all risky. And I mentioned Jim Rohn several times on this call in past weeks. I'm a big fan of him. And I'll be honest with you, with Jim Rohn, when I used to see pictures of Jim Rohn, and I used to hear people talk about how amazing Jim Rohn was, I never wanted to hear him. See, I'm now involved in the network marketing industry, but all my life I avoided getting involved in it because I had a negative perception of the industry and of some of the people that were involved in it. I didn't want any part of it. And so even when I got inside of the industry and recognized that it is one of the most powerful business models that exist in this life that allow for such a huge opportunity for a return at such a low cost, I still had these back of my mind perceptions. And so when I would hear networkers say, Jim Rohn is the bomb, Jim Rohn is the truth, I naturally avoided listening to him. But I accidentally heard a CD by him. I wasn't ready in my mind to listen to him. There was a CD that he happened to be on. And it rocked my world. I had to get out of my own way because what he was saying had connected into me so well. And so I became hungry to listen to him. And I say all this to say This particular part of what I'm about to share is very well spoken by him. It's the ideal that you are afraid to take the risks. You are afraid to go after it because what if you fail? What if it doesn't work? What if you can't do it? And I'm telling you, in my own words, what he shared with me that challenged me and helped me. It's all risky. You're going to die. You're going to die. Your life is risky. We all have had somebody in our life leave this place when they didn't know it was coming, when we didn't know it was coming. Whether it was a car accident, whether it was a murder, whatever the case was. Again, I don't want to go to some morbid place. What I want you to understand is you're living a life that is filled with risk. But the biggest risk you can take is wasting your life, is being so safe and so concerned that you protect yourself from taking the risks towards your dreams that you do nothing. He says, you think it costs a lot for the risk of taking a chance? Wait till you get the bill for doing nothing. See, you can't do nothing and it not cost you in your life. I said it before, you're going to live this life anyway. You're taking a risk by going after your dreams. You're taking a risk by doing nothing. The biggest risk would be that you spent 20 years in the same place that you hated for the 20 years before. Don't worry about the risks. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and risk your life. What I'm talking about is the pain that you are afraid to feel from failure. It's more painful to not change than it is to change. You just won't take the first step. You don't want to hear no. That's no risk. That's okay. You're going to bump into a bunch of people that are like you. They ain't ready. It's not a rejection of you as a person. It's them letting you know, hey, I'm not ready. You have to go after it because life is risky. You could literally stay where you're at, cover everything, make sure you take no risks, and then what? This life is an adventure. You see people every single day that are in your company, that are all over the media, that are doing everything that they want to do. The only difference between you and them is that they took risks. They went after it. So you say, oh, they got lucky. They were in first. No, it has nothing to do with that. In this life, this is a principle that is real. I said, if somebody gave you $100,000 and you could do whatever you want, most of you would end up broke because you can't out-earn who you are. You are at a certain level in life, and until you grow, you can't sustain a different level, somebody else's level. I love to use the example of Tupac. See, many people, especially young people, when I was coming up, they saw Tupac as this thug, as this person who just was a rapper. See, Tupac prepared for success. He took acting classes. He took ballet classes. He studied. He read. He grew. He worked in the industry so that he could get connected with people in the industry. He didn't just sit back and wait for somebody to show up at his door. He took the risks necessary to go after his dream. He grew to a place where he could get to the place that he wanted to. It's all risky. Your life is a risk. You're going to die. If that don't move you, what will move you? See, some of you have children. You're going to die. You're going to leave this place. And what is it that you're going to leave them? Is it going to be a funeral bill? or is it going to be a legacy? That leads me to my next thing. What's in the dash? What's in the dash? Now, some of you may have heard this idea before, but I want you to think about it and take it personal today. See, when you do die, when you leave this place, they're going to make a nice little beautiful funeral program, and on it, it's going to have the day you were born, it's going to have the day you die. In the middle, there's going to be a little dash. And I'll use myself as the example. July 13th, 1971. I know I look much younger and much cuter than 45 years old. But dash today, December 9th, 2016. If I leave this life today, that dash in the middle is filled with my life. It's filled with the things that I've done, my accomplishments, the different people's lives who I touched. What is going to be in your dash? When people are standing around, what is it that they are going to have to say about you? About what you've done to impact their life? What you've done to accomplish inside of your own life? See, some people, I've been at a lot of funerals. In my former business, I designed a lot of funeral programs. And I saw very different lives that have left this place. And some people, you need a whole book to share the lives that they've touched, the accomplishments that they've achieved. And some people, they were struggling to come up with a half page of information because this person didn't move in their life with urgency. What's in your dash? Are people going to be able to say, I'm different because you touched my life? I'm where I'm at today because you took the time to pour into me. We are, as a family, where we are because of the sacrifices that they made, because the risks that they took to get where it is that they got. And they left a legacy that will forever change the generations of this family. Do you want to be that person where your picture is the one that's over the fireplace at the mansion? Now, I'm not talking about physical things. I'm not talking about financial gain. It is important that we have enough money to do what it is that we need to do. Bill Gates can't spend his money. He's got too much. He can't hold it in his hand. Mark Zuckerberg, he can't hold all of that money. He couldn't go withdraw billions of dollars. We can't touch that. What we need is enough to cover our life, and what we need is enough to do what it is that we need to do. When somebody needs to go to college, we need to be able to cover the bill. When somebody needs to go to the doctor, we need to be able to cover the bill. When we need a new car, we need to be able to cover it. It's not about big money, big living. It's not about cribs and cars. If that's your goal, if that's one of the things that motivates you, go for it. I'm rooting for you. But I'm talking about what is in the dash. What inside of your life is going to be worth talking about at your funeral? Whose life did you change? Did you go from where you were to where you want to be? Did you get success from coming up from a situation that people didn't think you would get out of? People didn't think you were smart enough. People didn't think you were strong enough. People thought you would never recover from that. But you changed your life so much so that it became fruit and seed to impact the world around you. How many lives can you touch before you leave this place? Starting with your own. You're going to die. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You got a business, and you know you have things that you haven't done. You haven't made your list. You haven't contacted your people. Some of your family don't even know what you do. What are you waiting for? You are going to die. And I'll tell you this, some of you all have some things that could touch people's lives, and they're going to die because you didn't open your mouth. They're struggling financially because you won't open your mouth. You're going to leave this place. What's in the dash? What can people say about your life? Let it be said that you were better when you left this place than you were when you came in. Sow the seeds into your own life first. See, when you are on a plane and the stewardess is saying, hey, put your oxygen mask on before you help somebody else do theirs. You got to save yourself first so you can have the strength to help other people. Sow the seed into your own self. Study, grow, move. Take the risks. Go after it. Some of you are so busy aiming at the target that you won't take a shot. Are you really trying to change your life? Or are you just spending time? Does it just sound good? You won't miss your favorite show. You make sure that that's inside of your goal range. Well, what about making sure you don't miss the training? What about making sure you don't miss that meeting? What about making sure you don't miss your 5 new contacts a day, 10 new contacts a day, 20 new contacts a day? You can do anything. You could go out and talk to 100 people today. Nobody is stopping you. Open your mind to something much, much bigger because you're going to die. And I don't know if it's today, 6 months, 3 years, 10 years down the road. I don't know and you don't know. But I know this. You are going to leave this place. And if that don't motivate you, if that don't move you, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. Make sure that what you're going after is worth it. You're going to be living this life anyway. Make sure you're up for it. You have to be ready. You have to be ready. When the opportunity comes, and if you keep moving in that direction, you keep working in that direction, your opportunity is going to come. You got to be willing to take the risks. Doing nothing is more risky than going after it. I would much rather live a full life for the next 5 years than to be here for the next 50, living a boring, dull, nothing life where I'm impacting nobody. And you got to make sure you fill up the dash. Change people's lives, starting with your own. Go after your dreams. Be an inspiration. You can do anything you want to do. Greatness is a choice. It's not about your genetics. It's not about where you were born. You can decide today that nothing and nobody is going to stop you. You're going to die. I hope that it makes you move. I hope that it makes you decide to do something different. Thank you guys so much for being on this call. I pray always that God is going to pour out a blessing that you won't have room enough to receive. Once again, thank you, Panique. The replay will be available on scottbent.com probably in about 10 minutes or so. I appreciate you all. God bless you.